Okay, we are live on the Get Foxy Show with Lise Ode. Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time today to be on the Get Foxy Show with us. I know you are rocking and rolling out there. You're a baker, a photographer, and a writer. And it's all kind of come together in your blog. Mom Loves Baking, correct?
That's right.
Where did all these passions come from, and how did you decide to meld them all together?
Well, first I want to say thank you for having me.
Well, you
And
bet.
it's nice to meet you. It's kind of a long story, so I don't know if you want the short version.
You tell whatever version you want, and we'll make it happen.
Right. Okay. Well, I've been baking since I was a kid. My mom was really into healthy foods, and she did not buy anything sweet. She would not buy the sugary cereals or the Coke or the cookies. And so I had to be innovative and figure out how to do it myself. And so that's what I did. So that's how it got started. And she doesn't like me to say that because she's like, you make me sound mean.
I had a mother the same way. She wasn't much of a baker, and she said, "You want to learn how to make cookies? You do it yourself."
Right, exactly. And she also was a mother that she wanted me to be independent and do things for myself, which is really good. It's a good way of parenting. And she actually could bake herself when she wanted to, like when she would have parties, she liked to entertain, and then that's when she would make the sweets. So we had cookbooks, we had some recipes, we had the ingredients, but I wanted to do it like when I got home from school, I wanted to have some cookies or some brownies. So that's where I started, and that was, 9 or 10. And I just kept doing it all along, but I went to college and I didn't major in anything culinary. I ended up being a graphic artist, and that was my job for a long time. And then I decided to start a cake business because I just kept really enjoying baking and cake decorating. And so I decided to try it finally after I got married and had kids, and I was basically a stay-at-home mom at that point. And so I did a cake business from our home for about 4 years, making these, wedding cakes and party cakes, really fancy cakes. Like they were really works of art, like a cake that looks like a camera or a car or, a guitar, or kind of elaborate wedding cakes. And so I kind of joined the art and the baking. And then it just got to be, it was hard work and not a lot of money, and I was working on the weekends. And so my husband was the one that gave me the idea of starting a blog. And that was back in 2006. And he read an article on how these retired people were making 6-figure incomes by just writing about their hobbies on blogs. He's like, why don't you do that? And then you don't have to work so hard, and you can like write about the baking instead of always doing the hard labor. And so that's what I eventually did. And I started the blog, and that was 4 years ago that I started the blog. And so it's my full-time job, and it's a great work from home situation. So
That's pretty amazing to me. Not too many people, I think, get the opportunity to take their passions and really bring that into an entrepreneurial type career.
Right. It's true. It's true. And I have to thank my husband for his encouragement, because he really is an entrepreneur, and he's always looking for ways to make money and ways to use your passions. And so he really helped me with that. And I've always wanted to do something I loved, but it took a long time to get to this point. I'm 52 now, so I did a lot of different jobs over the years, including flight attendant, and I was a stewardess on a yacht at one time. I worked retail, department stores and restaurants and office jobs, and done a lot of different things.
I even saw on your website that you'd said you worked for the National Enquirer at one point.
Yes, I did. And that was pretty cool actually. And a lot of people like to make fun of me when I would say that I was there. They're like, "Oh, are you working on the alien baby story today?" And I would always say no, because we don't do those stories. It was like a celebrity gossip magazine basically. And I was a graphic artist, so I worked on the page layout and design. But it
Hmm.
was run like a real newspaper. So that was really interesting to just see how a paper comes together every week, and because it was a weekly paper. And that was really interesting. 3 years I did that in my late 20s, early 30s. It was fun.
It's fascinating how we can take all of these different jobs that we end up in,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always a lesson, I think, to be learned in each job that we have. And then you can take those
Absolutely.
lessons and then apply them later on in life, in when you really find your career.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I learned when I was at the National Enquirer was I learned writing skills and editing skills, because I had to edit stories, because I had to fit them into a certain, space. And so we had to cut out some of the copy, and I did that myself. And you had to make the article flow, and also write the headlines. And there's an art to that. There's an art to saying a lot in few words as possible, to getting, a big message, that's, eye catching, that's um, enticing, to make you want to read the article, the story,
Wow. And talk about having that fit right into blogging. Good grief.
Exactly. But first, I went to work on a yacht before I was kind of all over the place, but it's funny. That's where I went from National Enquirer to working on a yacht for a year, and traveling around the world. But
And what lessons did you learn in that venue?
well, I learned that I did not want to work on a yacht as my career. It's really, I learned the lifestyles of the rich and famous, and I learned that I did not want to be a servant, which is basically what I was. Um, and it's kind of weird how they treat you when you're in that position. You're like a lowly creature, not to make eye contact or make conversation with the guest. Just wait on them every 10 minutes and say, what can I get you? Can I get you something? And making, ironing their sheets and cleaning their bathrooms and serving their 5-course meals in a formal dining situation. So it was interesting. I saw a lot of the world, but 1 year was all I could take of that. It's also it's kind of a hidden type of lifestyle that not a lot of people get to see or know about. And there's people that work on these crews. They do that for their, that's their career for their life. And it's not an easy life, but they don't have a home. They live on the boat, so they can save a lot of money, and they do get to see a lot of the world. So those are the benefits
Interesting.
there. Yes, if you can live in tight quarters.
So it sounds like the big lesson you got out of that was that, okay, yeah, I don't want to be a servant. I want to be my own boss.
Exactly. Yes. And I do enjoy traveling though, so you know I'd like to do that again, but do it on my own terms. So
Well, I'm going to ask you the question that I ask all my guests, and that is, what does foxy and being foxy mean to you, Lisa?
um, I had a feeling you were going to ask me that question. I didn't have an answer, ready, but it's something that I think about a lot, and especially since I'm getting a little older. I'm currently listening to a book right now, which kind of helps with this question. Have you ever heard of Helen Gurley Brown? She was the editor of Cosmopolitan magazine for 30 years, and she originally wrote the book Sex and the Single Girl in 1965, which was like really controversial. And I'm currently listening to a book she wrote about a survival guide for being over 50. And so she talks about how, back in the day, it used to be like once women were 50 or over, that's kind of like their life is over, and they can't be sexy, and they're just going to be like matronly and just boring. I don't know. It's different now, where you can look younger longer, and you just do the best you can to accentuate your good qualities. And I like to diet to stay healthy and stay trim. Even though I love to bake, I also want to be, I don't want to be, I want to fit into cute clothes and have a nice figure. So, you have to work at that. And
There definitely is a balance there.
definitely. And it's definitely more challenging as I've gotten older. I used to be able to enjoy more of those cakes and cookies and things and just work out a little extra. And that would be fine, but I can't do that anymore. So, exercise is really important. And I recently did something that's kind of been fun and that I'll share with you. I recently got hair extensions.
Uh-huh.
And just about 2 months ago. And I meant to like curl my hair today to show you, but I have really fine straight hair, even though my hair is like shoulder length. Um, it's just never looked good really long. And so I just started seeing some stuff online about it, and I thought I would try it. And I found a girl that's really good at what she does, and it's just amazing. It really looks like my real hair, and it's taped in. It's amazing. I have like 20 hair pieces that are taped in. Really showing
Huh.
my secrets here. You would never know it though.
No, I certainly wouldn't have.
And I can curl it and have nice full long hair. It's really long right now. It's like down to like below my waistline.
Wow.
And it's just been really fun. It's amazing what hair can do. It just, it makes me feel younger. It makes me want to, wear more fun clothing. And I do love fashion. That's actually my degree in college was fashion merchandising. And so I I've recently lost weight. I've recently lost about 16 pounds, and now it's been more fun to go shopping. And so I've kind of been getting into that lately, like figuring out my style and listening to. I love to listen to books on that type of thing.
And what would one of your favorite books be on that subject?
Well, I just recently got a book called I think it's by Candace Cameron Bure. I think it's called Staying Stylish. She's an actress from Full House. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you've heard of her. And so she's just talking about, how to formulate your style. And also the book that I just told you, Helen Gurley Brown, The Survival Guide. It's called The Late Show. And it was written in the early 90s, but it's still good information about fashion and diet, makeup, that type of thing. And I've been on TV a few times in the last couple years, and I've also done Facebook Live videos. And so that's gotten me more into being conscious of my makeup, how I look, because for 4 years I was doing this blog thing alone at home, and you don't really have to. It doesn't really matter what you're wearing or what you look like.
Not when you're blogging. No, you could be blogging in your PJs.
Right. So it's been kind of a new over the last year or so. I've just been kind of getting into that, having fun with style, figuring out my style.
That's
That's
fantastic. So you are right now in the depths of finding that foxiness, is what it sounds like to me.
exactly. And watching, I'm kind of have an addiction of watching Netflix. I have to admit that. You know, binging on those shows and everything, and I love to watch them at night before I go to bed and stay up too late sometimes. But like, I get ideas from shows. Like, I love the show New Girl, Zoe Deschanel. I love her style. Um, and it's sort of classic, but funky at the same time. I love bright colors. Um, I recently watched The Gilmore Girls, and I love the character Lorelai. She has a great wardrobe. Um, I mean, it takes some study and some research to figure this out because I've been a mom for the last 15 years and kind of just worn the mom clothes, um, and kind of out of the loop. So I'm back in the game here.
Nice. Well, in your opinion, as a food blogger,
Yes.
I know there are kind of like these trends with foods. What, in your opinion, would be a food that would help a woman feel foxy?
Well, most of the things that are on my blog are not really great things for making you look foxy, but I do have quite a few healthy recipes on my site as well, even though it's mostly desserts. Um, I like to I love to make beautiful looking creations, you know, desserts, cakes that are going to be like, you know, what's the word? It's just going to be like the focal point of a party. Or if you take it to take it to somebody's house, it's having a party, it's kind of like a showstopper, like, wow,
Hmm.
you made that. That's so cool. And, but so save it for special occasions is what I'm saying. And then on an everyday basis, I love to have chocolate every day, believe it or not. But I have sugar-free chocolate and it's like stevia sweetened. So it's very low calorie. But chocolate is just my favorite thing. I just have to have it. And a little bit every day I think is not bad, especially when there's no sugar. But I have quite a few like skinny recipes on my blog, low carb. A low carb diet is basically my life now. I mean, it's going to be that's going to be my diet for the rest of my life, I think. But you know, cheating here and there, um, watch a dinner and have something, you know, sinful or whatever. Have an occasional glass of wine. I don't drink very much either. I don't have a lot of alcohol. Did that answer the question?
Yes, it does. I am going to pause our interview for just a moment.
Okay.
So, Lisa, it's from what it sounds like, you have a fair amount of different recipes on your website, including those skinny recipes, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll
And
just I'll
these are
say
low carb type things?
exactly.
Gotcha.
Can I give you a few for an example?
Sure.
Like easy peanut butter cups. They're sugar free, low carb. There's a Mexican pizza. I have a few savory things on there too. Um, there's strawberry angel food cake, which is like half the sugar. It's using, like a natural sweetener that's sugar free. And skinny blueberry cheesecake bars.
Oh,
Have quite a few smoothies on there, shakes. You know, there's some fun stuff.
excellent. Would you email me a couple of links to those recipes and then I can share those in the show notes?
Sure, I'd love to.
Excellent.
Okay.
So when you're not blogging and baking.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm just doing life. That's kind of the cool thing about blogging. You can do it when you want throughout the day. So I've heard people that say, have set office hours every day. I'm just not that rigid. So I will do a little bit of work for an hour or so in the morning. Then I might go to the gym or go for a walk and then, run some errands, come back, work for a few more hours. Then it's time for the kids, pick up the kids or take them to sports, um, piano, whatever they have to do, and then make dinner. And then I might do some more work after. So, that's my dog Spencer.
All
He's
right.
in here too. He likes to be.
Well,
He
I
likes
can
to
I
be
can relate.
walking.
I have a pug that likes to come down here while I'm doing shows. So I say I've got a pug who wants to be a fox.
That's funny. I like that. I like that. What was I gonna say? Sometimes I do a little bit of work at night. I love to dance too. I wanted to say that. Like those are I like the dancey type classes at the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and I also want to incorporate some dance on my Instagram.
Aha.
On the
You should
dance video.
take a listen. It's so funny that I have you on. Right, this past week, I released my interview with Phyllis Guy, who's a health and nutrition coach,
Uh-huh.
and she uh, is helping people detox from overeating sugar.
Right.
But one of the big things that she does to stay healthy and feel foxy is ballroom dancing.
Ah, cool. That's cool.
So
I'd like to try that sometime. I like more um, like hip hop, dance, pop kind of, pop music, top 40, um, that kind of dance.
nice.
So get funky. I like
See,
hip
now
hop.
I would bet that when you are out there on that dance floor and moving with that music, you are in your foxiness.
Definitely. And it's like I did jazzercise for a long time, and the teachers would say, there's a mirror that you can see yourself dancing, and we would do a fun move, and she'd say something like, "Don't you feel cute now? This is your cute, sexy move." And it's just fun. It's fun to feel cute and sexy, so why not?
Amen to that.
And also, I wanted to add that I was extremely shy when I was younger, and so that's something I think I'm coming out of over 50 as well. And it's easier to feel foxy when you're not so shy.
Yes.
So that's kind of a buzzkill now.
Yes. Claiming your authenticity and knowing who you are, and really it sounds like you're still in that process of learning specifically who you are, but we're all in that process.
Definitely.
It's definitely something I'm still going through, and I'm in my 40s now. So
Great.
but yeah, as you go through and you start learning these things about yourself, it becomes so much easier to express that, and coming from that place of authenticity.
Yes,
Yeah, man, that's foxy, plain
definitely.
and simple.
I,
Out
I,
of curiosity, who would you say embodies foxiness in your world right now?
no, what do you mean? Somebody I know personally or somebody that's.
It could be somebody you know personally, it could be a celebrity, it could be who knows. It's all about you and what you find to be foxy.
Oh, well, I think I mentioned before those shows that I get kind of obsessed with shows. So, I mentioned those actresses. Zoe Deschanel, I think she's definitely foxy. And Lauren Graham, I'm a big fan of hers. And she's about my age. So, um, and and Helen Gurley Brown, like I mentioned before. She's no longer with us. She lived to be 90, I believe. But she was definitely a cool, foxy broad. And I think that that's something to I just admire that she tried to stay foxy until the end, you know.
Well,
Never
and
gave
that's the goal here with this podcast
up.
is I'm looking to help all my women listeners to be able to do that, to stay foxy till the end.
There you go. And you can do
Yes.
it. You can do it. It's definitely possible.
How can people find out more about you, Lisa? It sounds like you've got a fairly strong social media presence. I actually found you on Facebook, but it sounds like you've also got Instagram. Are you on Twitter? Where can people find you?
I am all over social media. I've kind of, with the blogging and being a one-man band, kind of, I've taken turns on the different social channels, and like spending 6 months on Facebook, and then now I'm on Instagram, and before that I was working on Pinterest. And you kind of have to focus. For me, I have to kind of focus on one at a time, although I'm always present on all of them. But Instagram's been my focus lately, so I spend a lot of time there, and I do stories. There's something called Instagram stories. Are you familiar with that?
I'm still just kind of learning Instagram. I've got an Instagram account, but I haven't figured that part out yet. So please enlighten me.
Okay. Well, my Instagram page is called Mom Loves Baking. Everything is all my social channels. It's Mom Loves Baking, so that makes it easy. But on Instagram, I forgive my printer. I think my husband's printing something remotely. Um, so on Instagram, you post pictures, just still pictures or videos, and you have a feed, just like you have a feed on Facebook. But then there's another part of it that is, do you want me to wait till that ends, that noise?
If you want to, we can. I can edit it.
Sorry, I should have told my husband that.
Oh, that's the beauty of a live interview.
I know. Um, I really want to tell you what I'm about to tell you. It's really cool. Let me see. I'm texting my husband right now. He works in the basement just like you do. Okay. So you want to start that over? Or?
No, we can just continue on.
Okay. So, okay, Instagram, you have your regular feed like you do in Facebook, but then at the top, there's these little buttons where you see the pictures, people's pictures. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see my profile picture. And if you hit that, it's the story.
Okay.
And stories only last for 24 hours, and they can be either pictures or videos, just like in the regular Instagram posts. And I share a lot of everyday life stuff there. And so in my regular Instagram feed, I have mostly desserts, and then I'll sometimes have a picture of me and what I'm doing. Um, but I share a lot of just everyday life in the stories, which is kind of cool. Just random stuff, you know.
Excellent.
And
And
sometimes it
you
might be a baking project I'm doing, or it might be I'm at the gym, or I'm out to lunch with somebody, or walking the dog, or chilling.
and you seem to be connecting with your audience through that.
Yes, yes. And it's a form of engagement. So it's cool. And I actually enjoy watching other people's stories too. And some, celebrities do that as well. And then but I started following people just, because I like what they're saying, what they're doing. It's interesting.
Okay, well, there you go, ladies. Check out Mom Loves Baking on Instagram
Yes.
and wherever else on social media that you might be looking, whether that's Facebook or Pinterest.
Twitter, YouTube as well.
Okay, and then of course, momlovesbaking.com.
That's right. My website.
Okay.
And you can subscribe to the website and get emails as well.
Oh, excellent. Well, I will make sure to do that myself.
Yes, anytime I do a post, I'll send an email to the email list, and it's mostly recipes, but sometimes it's life, lifestyle, what I'm doing, trips or whatever.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for sharing this little bit of your life with us. We are up against time, but I just want to say thank you. And I honor you for just being the beautiful, foxy mom that you are, taking care of your family and yet still going out there and having an impact on the world.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was fun. So I look forward to listening to your podcast.
You bet.